Hi everyone, thanks for watching, and of course a very happy new year to you all. So yes, new year, new month. So in this video I'm going to show you how I start to prepare for the seasonal moves we can expect to see through the course of the year. Now to do that I'm going to be using the heat maps that you can find on the seasonal section of our website. I will just scroll down. A lot of you who are familiar with my videos will be aware of and seen me talk about this heat map previously. What this heat map does is it looks at the best and worst months for each market. So we're reading this heat map horizontally. So we're looking at Australian dollar here. What that's telling us is historically April has been the best month of the year for the Australian dollar, whereas May has actually historically been the worst, with August not that far behind. And again, another example, you can see pound typically as well. Also, the best month of the year is April, followed by August being the worst. But the heat map I'm going to be focusing on in this video is actually the one a little bit further down. And what this one does is actually tells us the best and worst markets for each month. So rather than reading this one horizontally, we're actually reading this heat map vertically, and that compares each market and tells us where we can expect to see the biggest moves each month. So I'm going to be looking at this to try and pinpoint where we should be moving our money, which markets we should be focusing on at which point of the year. Starting off the year, no surprise, we see them performing well already in the markets, and the big winner typically is our metals, and that has been the case. We've really seen silver and gold perform very well through Christmas, and we're looking for a continuation of that. The reason being is typically that seasonal bias runs right through actually until around the middle of February, and we'll keep an eye on price action to see where we're at, to see if it could possibly extend. But definitely into February is a point where if we are long metals, look to try and take some profit. Now from around that point, an excellent place to take your money would be to head into the energy sector. You can see typically gasoline and heating oil, crude really start to come into their own in February, and that seasonal period typically runs through nicely into the beginning of the summer. So that'll be a nice place certainly to look for the beginning of those seasonal moves on those markets. Looking further ahead, we can see the stock market typically starting to come in. We see not huge green numbers in here, but they're very positive in the equities. You can see the indices doing quite nicely run through here in April and into May. One thing I will just note, you will notice that we don't typically have big numbers or a lot of green or reds, and that's because in the currencies, and that's typically because we do on a relative basis, we don't see the same kind of percentage change in price and a percentage movement. So we don't typically see as big a moves in the currency market compared to our commodities. So that'll maybe put a little bit of context into here, that maybe potentially if you're very focused on the currency market, maybe to open up a little bit and start to look at a few additional markets added into your typical trading plan, just to really see you're picking up where the moves are, the biggest moves are in the market, particularly if we go through periods where FX is a little bit range bound. So going through into the summer, again, we see is a really strong period in here for the metals. In July, actually, we see some of the currencies and the equities performing very nicely as well. Going into August, a lot of markets typically be negative through the month of August. You actually see one of the best places to park some of your cash is actually into the treasuries. Looking towards the end of the year, we're heading potentially back into equities. You'll see a nice little green patch starting to develop in here. You see October, November is typically a real nice period for those indices to start to run through towards the end of the year, and hopefully they can perform a little bit better than what they did in 2018. And again, towards the end of the year as well, while we start nicely in the beginning part of the year in energy market, as there has been the case in 2018, where there's typically looking for a nice sell-off in the energy sector as we run into Christmas, October, November, and we certainly seen that pattern last year, and that's something that we'll be looking to focus on again this year. So yeah, there you can see a lot of big moves through the markets through the year. Just use this, maybe sit down, take a few notes, maybe plan ahead as a bit of a seasonal calendar to what you're going to be trading. And certainly I'm going to be sticking with the metals as we start the year, running through into. I'm very, very interested in looking at the energy market, particularly where the prices that we're at as well, the price action we're starting to see. But use the map to plan ahead and hope to maximize whatever seasonal moves we can get through the year. Okay, guys, I'll be back at the beginning of February, and we'll focus in on individual charts. Last thing I will comment, just say, is the charts on our website that you will see, they have been updated for 2019 already. So if you want to take a look at our presidential cycles or any of our the Forex charts, they have already been updated for 2019. So jump onto those and you can start planning your seasonal moves right through the year.